Hello everybody, welcome to Spirit Sports. I am your host Evan, and this is the first episode of Detroit Sports Weekly. But before we get into it, I have a little explanation. So, welcome to my new Plan to Be Weekly show, Detroit Sports Weekly. This is a show where I will talk about the news with and what happened surrounding the professional Detroit sports in the last week. And the teams I will talk about are the Detroit Tigers, the Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Lions, the Detroit Pistons, the Michigan Panthers, and the Detroit City Football Club. I will talk about general sports action that relates to and is relevant to those professional Detroit sports teams. This show will be a beginning of the week, so Monday, Tuesday, or end of the week, Friday, Saturday, a show depending on the time of year. This show is researched entirely by me, so if I miss something relevant or include something irrelevant, and you think it's concerning enough, I guess, please tell me in person or in the comments. This show will not replace SEM Sports if you're wondering about that. SEM Sports requires news from all of the big four professional sports teams in Detroit, with a fifth local team having relevant news. And this show, Detroit Sports Weekly, or DSW, can use news from any of the previously mentioned teams in the last week and doesn't require all of them to have some sort of news. With that being said, let me know if you need any clarification about the show, if you have any questions about it, and let's just get into it. So, Detroit sports are on a roll in 2025. The professional Detroit sports teams in 2025 are 12-1. The Detroit Lions 1-0, the Detroit Red Wings 5-0, and the Detroit Pistons are 6-1. This is incredible, especially considering just the calendar year of 2024. It was good. It was good, but nowhere near to as good as it's looking right now, especially for the Pistons. So, for the Detroit Red Wings, the Red Wings are beating their opponents 14-7 in the last week. And I picked out 3 stars for the week. My third star, with 4 points, 2 goals, and 2 assists, Alex DeBrincat. My second star, with 5 points, 1 goal, and 4 assists, Lucas Raymond. And my first star, with 6 points, 2 goals, and 4 assists, Patrick Kane. And I had 2 honorable mentions, with 4 points, 2 goals, and 2 assists, Dylan Larkin. With 4 points, 2 goals, and 2 assists, again, Marco Kasper. Kasper and Larkin had the same stats as DeBrincat, but I chose to give DeBrincat the third star because DeBrincat had a game-winning goal, and Larkin and Kasper only had game-winning assists. The Red Wings have opened up the second half of their season with a 6-2 win over the Seattle Kraken, taking claim as the superior sea creature of the NHL. And I'm not including teams outside the Red Wings and the Kraken. With a record of 20-18-4, the Wings are 2 points out of the wild card spot, due basically to the 7-game winning streak that they are on, including 3 in the last week. So for the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Pistons are outscoring their opponents 340-319 in the last week, excluding the Portland game, and I'm not covering that in this because I covered that on the last episode of SEM Sports. I needed another thing for the Pistons, so I decided to use the stars concept in hockey and transfer it over to basketball, but I'm only going off of points. Not any other stat like rebounds or assists, just going off of points. So, my third star with 39 points is Tobias Harris. My second star with 62 points is Malik Beasley, and my first star with 67 points is Cade Cunningham. And Cade Cunningham had 1 triple-double that made up of 22 points, 17 assists, and 10 rebounds. And I had an honorable mention star, which goes to Tim Hardaway with 37 points, and he did miss the Lakers game, and they did lose that game. That's the one game they've lost in 2025, and I do think if he was in, he could have made a difference, considering the Pistons only lost to the Lakers by 3, but who knows. The Pistons are wrapping up their first half of the season with a good look and 2 games remaining in the first half of the season. Those 2 games are against the 26-14 New York Knicks and the 22-18 Indiana Pacers. And those games take place on Monday the 13th and Thursday the 16th. And with a record of 20-19, the Pistons hold the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference and would be in a playoff game against the 20-17 Miami Heat for the playoffs. And now for my little news on the Detroit Lions. With the 6th seed Washington Commanders defeating the 3 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23-20 on a walk-off field goal, and the 7 seed Green Bay Packers losing 22-10 to the 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles, the Lions' divisional round matchup is officially set. And they will face the Commanders in Detroit at 8 p.m. on Saturday the 18th, creating a rematch of the 1991 NFC Championship game where the Lions fell to Washington, and and back then they were known as the Redskins, 41-10. Anyway, that is it for the first episode of Detroit Sports Weekly. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. This was Spirit Sports. I am your host, Evan, and stay blessed.